Happy New Year. It's 2024. I hope that everyone had a restful and joyous holiday season. I'm going to talk a little bit today about wintertime and how to best maintain your health and energy during the winter. Now, over the new year, it's become incredibly popular in our culture to establish New Year's resolutions. And one of the things I'm noticing this year is that a lot of people are making different kinds of resolutions. I'm no longer seeing as many people making resolutions to take on a marathon of activities when they are going from the couch to all of a sudden becoming getting up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym and beating themselves up for 2 hours, skipping breakfast, doing intermittent fasting, and so on and so forth. I'm now seeing people who are talking more about things that they don't want to do for others that will require them to give up parts of themselves, like setting better boundaries with people, setting better boundaries around their time, their schedule. And this is really wonderful and refreshing to see because this is actually very much in tune with the season of winter and what it is supposed to be about. So, the medicine that I'm practice, I'm an acupuncturist, and the medicine that I practice comes rooted from a lot of the traditions of Taoism. And part of Taoism is living seasonally. So every season, autumn, winter, spring, summer, has a different energy to it, has a different flavor to it. There's even an additional season. It's called it's kind of like Indian summer. It comes between fall and summer, and that season kind of repeats itself when the seasons change as well. So each of these seasons has a different element attached to it and has a different energy attached to it. And winter time is the season of the kidney. It's the season of water, and the best practices for maintaining your health in the winter are all about establishing the balance and harmony with the water in your system. The kidney in Chinese medicine has a lot more functions than the kidney in Western medicine. It's not just filtering the blood and processing your water. That's part of it, but it also contains kind of the storage facility, if you will, of all of the genetic material that you were born with and what your tendencies are, what your inclinations are. And it also houses the adrenal glands, which are a separate, distinct gland in Western medicine, but they sit on top of the kidneys. So in Chinese medicine, they kind of share a function with that. So it's super, super important in the wintertime actually to not do activities that are going to stress you out, deplete you, tax you, if you will. A lot of us are coming out of the holiday season feeling pretty depleted as it is. A lot of us have been doing a lot of shopping, gathering with families, doing a lot of traveling. If you have children, most certainly you've been experiencing a lot of stress already. So, actually, over the new year, what I would invite you to do is maybe if you have a resolution in mind or a goal in mind, that's great. If you feel the energy to follow it through, then definitely go for it. But if you're really tired and depleted, I would invite you to just rest and relax. Write down your goals, put them away somewhere, and maybe reopen that journal in springtime because actually, the spring is actually a better time to be manifesting these goals and these resolutions. Springtime is the energy of transformation and rejuvenation and change. So if you're looking to change a major habit, like you haven't been active in a while, now all of a sudden you're going to go get fit, that's great. You can definitely start working toward those goals now. But I would not encourage you to, like, if you haven't been active in a while, I wouldn't encourage you to sign up for back to back HIIT classes and get up at 5 in the morning to do those. I think that's pretty depleting, and you're going to feel the effects of that later, I promise you. So if you're feeling like you want to do some of those things, but maybe you're not ready to right now, please know and understand that that's okay. It's okay not to be ready to do that. It's okay to rest. It's okay to meditate. If that's what you're feeling the inclination to do, this is actually the season to do it in. The winter time, like I said, it's about rest. It's about nurturing yourself. It's about reestablishing healthy emotional boundaries. It's also about setting limits for yourself as well as for others around you, or rather, for what you will accept from others around you. So make sure that you focus on rest, meditation, breath work. Make that kind of your part of your habits over the winter time. And then if you want to tackle some major big shift, then do it in the spring. If you're looking to do a detox, I strongly advise again that you wait until spring. If you've been overindulging over the holidays, I encourage you to do a detox now, but a mild detox. I would say maybe a week or two. And the kind of foods that are appropriate to eat in the wintertime are not salads and fruits and smoothies and what do you call it, like green juices, even though I love juicing myself. I tend to pause my juicing in the winter. So I would encourage you not to do those kinds of things. You want to eat 6 to 8 servings of vegetables a day. I tell my patients to do that generally throughout the year. For most people, some people need less or some people need more vegetables. But you want all of your vegetables to be cooked or braised or stewed. Soups are really good this time of year, things that have been cooked long and slow, bone broths, those kinds of things are really, really good to take in the winter. But if you're going from, again, if you're going from eating a lot of processed food straight into juicing, that's like trying to climb Mount Everest in a day, okay? Start slow, start with basic things. Maybe take a roasting pan and roast a bunch of vegetables, beets, root vegetables like beets, parsley's not a root vegetable, parsnips, carrots, even things like potatoes, I think are good, unless you're doing some kind of carb resistant or carb reductionist kind of plan. But you can roast those and have a few servings of that a day, and that would be fine. Make sure you drink a lot of water as well. Wintertime, you want to focus on drinking warm water. Water ideally should be your body temperature or higher. Okay? So it's also important to keep your back and your knees warm during the winter time. You don't want to do a lot of heavy lifting or pushing or straining. You want to make sure to keep that kind of energy going. The reason we keep that lower back warm is because your kidney is there. Your kidney really likes to be warm. So that's important as well. So, as far as exercise, when I was in school, they recommended light exercise. They recommended Qigong, maybe yoga, or walking, which is kind of disappointing because I really like to ski. And one of my teachers said that's the worst thing you can do in the winter. I don't know that I agree with that completely, but I definitely think that it's important to get some exercise, but be mindful about the exercise you're getting. If you feel like it's too much on you and too much on your body, then I would advise that you back off. it's okay to take breaks. What's not okay is to quit completely. It's not okay to completely quit and then never do it again. And that's often what happens when we burn ourselves out doing all these heavy duty exercises. So I would say just focus again on your rest. And weightlifting's good in the winter. The kidney energy seems to do well with weightlifting because the kidneys are associated in Chinese medicine with our bones and our bone density. So, women, as if you are approaching menopause or you're past menopause, it is super important that you do some weight bearing exercise. And the most beneficial that I have found has been the kind with the bands, where the resistance bands, because that uses your own body. Pilates is wonderful to do in the winter, so I highly recommend that. So, the other thing too about sleep, this is if you have sleep issues, this is a really good time of year to work on correcting that. Um, the Taoist traditions mention that in the wintertime it's good to go to bed early and sleep in, contrary to the summer where you go to bed late and you wake up early. And then the fall and spring have different energies as well. But you'll feel it kind of with the decline in sunlight. If you notice that you're starting to suffer from seasonal depression with a lack of light outside, particularly those of you who live in northern climates like Alaska or Canada, um, make sure that you take a vitamin D supplement. Discuss this with your doctor first. Most of us are lacking in vitamin D anyway, but go ahead and talk about it with your doctor because we need to support those levels in the wintertime to account for the decline in sunlight. So make sure that you're doing that. There are also foods you can eat that have vitamin D. One of my favorites is cod liver oil, if you can find a good source of it. Nordic Naturals makes a pretty good source. Standard Process makes a very good source. Um, that can be helpful, or just taking a vitamin D3 supplement. I like 5,000 IUs, maybe 10,000 IUs, something like that. If you are not taking SSRIs, you can also look at St. John's wort. St. John's wort is harvested around the summer solstice and it absorbs a lot of sunlight, so it's kind of like sunlight in an herb. But please make sure that you discuss this with your doctor prior to taking it, and if you're taking SSRIs, please do not take it. The other thing that you can do is you can invest in a light machine. They're not very expensive now, and you can plug it in and turn it on for 30 minutes when you're getting ready in the morning, or just reading the paper, scrolling your iPad or whatever. That can be very helpful. If the sun is out and it's nice outside, take a look at what time your sun rises in your area. Right now, where I'm at, I'm in Northern California. The sun comes up at around 7:25-ish this time of year. So, a good thing that you can do also is 20 minutes after sunrise, go outside. And if you can get your feet in the grass, that'd be great. If it's too cold, don't do this. But put your forehead, this part here of your forehead, in the sunlight for 20 minutes. And what that does is that helps to reset the brain. It helps to slow down the melatonin hormone, which is what keeps you asleep, and it helps to increase the awakening response of the cortisol in your system. So it helps to keep you awake, alert. It also boosts serotonin levels in your blood, so it's really helpful if you have seasonal depression. And you're not going to want to do it if you have seasonal depression, but I would say, this is kind of my saying, hate doing it and do it anyway. It's 20 minutes. If you have a pet or a dog or something, that's a perfect time to go for a walk with them. And if you can't do 20 minutes, then do 10 or do even 5. Even 5 is fine. Start out with 5, work your way up to 20 if you can. I can promise you it'll make a really big difference. For those of you who struggle with chronic pain, red light therapy can be really good as well. You don't even need a red light to do this. You can actually just use the sun for this too. You can go out when the sun is just coming up, so maybe like 10 minutes before the sun rises, or before the sun sets. You can go out for 10 minutes prior to the sun setting, and you can get the red light therapy that way, or you can buy a red light machine. Either way. But I really like using those methods to support my health in the wintertime. I found that it's really, really helpful for me. So definitely take care of yourself this year. Your resolutions need to support your highest good. What's best for you, not what's best for what other people's perceptions are of you or what the world's perceptions are of you. What is best for you, for your health? What is best to support you that's going to help your family and others around you? That's the next step. And sometimes rest actually is the best thing. I had one year, I think it was 2016, where I realized I had just finished acupuncture school and my exams and everything, and maybe it was 2017, I can't remember, but that year when New Year's, people kept asking me what my New Year's resolution was, and I was like, I don't have any. I'm going to just rest. And that's what I did. I just rested. And I made a commitment to make sure I was getting, at the time I needed more sleep, 9 hours of sleep a night. Sometimes I got 10. And I think it was just maybe 6 to 8 weeks of doing that pretty consistently. And then I did light therapy as well. I went out when the sun got up. And in the springtime, I felt really, really good. I remember that spring and that summer, I was really active. And this is one of the reasons, by the way, why many people, when you get to March, February, April, your New Year's resolution goes out the window, because you've used up all of that chi in the winter that you need to spend on reducing your stress, on reducing your anxiety, on getting better sleep, on resting more, maybe even napping or meditating. So the kidney is very much associated with willpower as well. So even though you can have some willpower, it's not going to last throughout the year if you put all of your energy into the season when you're supposed to be recovering your energy, if that makes sense. So I would say, again, just get lots of rest, drink lots of water, good quality water. Make sure that it's filtered. Make sure you're getting plenty of minerals as well. The kidney is very much associated with mineral building, bone building, so magnesium, very important, goes along with vitamin D. A lot of us are deficient in it, and it's hard to take too much of it. So magnesium, make sure that you're getting plenty of all your other minerals as well. If you have thyroid disorders, you need to make sure you take plenty of selenium. Notice that I did not say iodine. I'll talk about that in a future video. You have to be careful of iodine if you're going to take it for thyroid disease. But make sure you're getting enough of it, I would say. Make sure you're getting just the amount you need. Make sure you're getting plenty of electrolytes as well. Potassium, chloride, sodium. I would say potassium, magnesium more important, because it's easy to get sodium with all the salt in most of our diets. But potassium-rich foods, or root vegetables, sweet potatoes, beets, things like that. Okay, so I think that's about it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and have a wonderful, restful, healing new year.